Hi, everyone. I'm Josh Ligard from Kickoff Labs, the audience growth platform where we help you quickly set up lead capture, viral giveaways, and product launches where fans can become influencers. Today's video is part of a series of videos on startup validation. The topic today, online communities and their role in validating your next great idea. In the last couple videos, if you haven't seen them, go back and watch some of the videos. We talked about advertising, Facebook ads, Google ads as a way to validate your startup. That's great if you've got a budget for doing it. It's also great for testing messages. You can get some message testing really quickly just by testing click-through rate. What are people willing to click through? But you've got your landing page set up, hopefully with Kickoff Labs. You've got your waitlist building, and you're wondering, how can I go out there and put in some sweat equity? So that is your personal effort to grow your platform, to grow your brand online, and to validate that you can get people to be interested in your idea, to follow you, to sign up, to take the next steps, to refer friends. One great way to do that is to look at online communities. Online communities include things like Reddit, Quora, Product Hunt, Facebook groups, LinkedIn topic pages, popular blogs, influencer pages in the comment section. All of these are different communities of people. And because you watched the earlier videos in this series on market research and development of a customer persona, you know exactly where your customers are hanging out online because you've already done some of this research. You've already found some of those niche communities. Hopefully, you're already lurking in those communities. We'll get to that in a second. But why should you use these online communities as a way to validate and grow your business? Let me tell you. So you get access to a more diverse audience. So you might be targeting one type of audience in your ads, and you can get very specific in the keywords in the ads. And we talked about that. And there's a great need to get very specific, but the communities expose you to a more diverse set of viewpoints. The second reason, feedback from real customers and users can shape your product by understanding their real world needs. Once you start talking to these customers, engaging in a conversation, you'll have a much deeper understanding than you would have just validating that they'll sign up for a list. Now, hopefully, you're sending them an automatic reply email from Kickoff Labs that asks them to answer some questions, and you're having those conversations as well. But that's one-to-one, whereas this can be one-to-many, where many people can jump in on a thread in the community. And also, it's a cost-effective way of doing this validation compared to advertising, meaning if you don't have as much cash on hand, you're not a funded startup, you're not going with a huge advertising budget, you can take your time and your conversations that you should be having with customers anyway and turn that into new leads and eventually cash. How powerful is this method of doing it? When we launched Kickoff Labs, we participated in the Quora community, and we still do. Out of the first $40,000 in revenue at Kickoff Labs, $15,000 of that can be traced back to simply 2 or 3 different questions that were answered in Quora about landing pages. We talked about the importance of landing pages. We answered customer questions about landing pages, and we provided some examples that, yes, did happen to link back to the Kickoff Labs product. The point is that name recognition and the growth in the community led to people clicking through and eventually signing up, paying, becoming customers, and $15,000 in revenue. We have another recent launch on Kickoff Labs for an esports company. They got over 14,000 leads, and a huge part of their lead generation came because they asked their team to participate in a set of targeted communities 6 hours a week. Yeah, they were doing the viral waitlist, they were growing with Kickoff Labs, and they were amplifying that effort with the product, but they were doing that participation, getting their name out there, and it really helped them crush their launch goals. Let's talk about what you can do in these communities. Let's pretend you found them first because you already did that customer persona step. How do you approach these places online? So every community has a set of posted policies. If you joined a Facebook group, that they'll ask you to agree to policies. If you've participated in niche community forums online, you'll know that they have their set of policies. Every Reddit community has its own set of policies and moderators. But I would read any posted policies they have. So, for example, you might find it beneficial even to read these policies because some communities have a special show and tell area for promotion. Some allow just pure promotion on specific days or specific threads each week to capture it all. And some have a pay to play game for promotion, saying you can do promotional posts if you're paying. All of these options are potentially valid. I especially like the options where in the communities where they just have threads of this is this week's promotions, and they capture everybody doing the promotion that week. You can run your promotion, just get the word out that week. Beyond doing that promotion, because you don't just want to go to these communities and just spam the heck out of them, you want to listen first. You want to be a lurker. I already talked about this in the part about market research, where you needed to be lurking at online communities. Hopefully you've already been doing that. And the reason to lurk is just to understand the tone of the community. I've joined some communities for business ideas where you find out pretty quickly that this is not potentially the right community because there's a lot of spam or there's just the wrong types of people or the audience doesn't match what I'm seeing from the messaging today and the people that I want to have sign up for my product. And so you leave and find another community. Listen first, make sure it's the right community to participate in. Next, engage genuinely. Outside of the promotion threads, participate in the discussions, provide value, and build your reputation as a good contributor in the community. This is hopefully because you want to become an expert in the space, because you want to understand customer needs better anyway. You're doing this for your benefit, for the benefit of the community, and for the benefit of your startup. And it just so happens you might have a link in your bio, you might have a link in your signature that can link back to your product, but it doesn't all have to be spam. Some of it can just be answering questions, and it should be just answering questions. Next, in addition to answering questions, you should also be asking specific questions. Let's say you're trying to understand whether people would like option A or option B in your product. Once you've started participating in the community, ask community, say, hey, we're looking at building this. What do you guys think of option A versus option B? People like to feel like they're involved. They like to feel engaged. And hopefully you want to hear this feedback anyway, because these are your potential customers, because you've been lurking in this community and you understand that these are people you want to have sign up for your product. So to wrap up, like I said in the beginning, these conversations that you have can hopefully drive revenue for your product for years to come. We've talked about successful launches. We've talked about what that can bring in terms of money or leads generated. This approach, along with a Kickoff Labs waitlist, is a really powerful way to just validate your idea, to get engaged in the conversation, start building your expertise in the space, and just start building a set of links that are going back to your domain hosted landing page. Like I said, hopefully on Kickoff Labs. In the next video, we're going to talk about the role that mockups and MVP can play in your startup validation. Stay tuned.